Rams are in charge. Salvon Ahmed, his first NFL touchdown. On first down, they'll keep it on the ground again. Look at the running room this time. Inside the 40, inside the 35-yard line goes Ahmed. That catch is made by Jakeem Grant, still on his feet.
The false start. Two special teams mistakes already.
Tua looks right, throwing. Got his man in the end zone for the touchdown. Jakeem Grant on the receiving end. Low snap. Tua picks it up, throws it down the sideline, and the catch is made. Tua shovel pass. Inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line is the tight end Durham Smythe. Oh no, this is Perry, Malcolm Perry. Perry changing direction, going the other way. Squeezes inside the 15. Herbert on the move, couldn't quite shake the pass rush. Herbert intercepted, picked off at the 40, coming back up the sidelines and out of bounds. Straight drop for Tua, a little screen, and to the 5, to the 2, Salvon Ahmed. And Tua throwing the way to a wide-open Durham Smythe for the touchdown. Keep it on the ground, and there's Laird with lots of running room inside the 30 to about the 26-yard line and a first down. And that's more like the Jason Sanders we know. He'll probably go back to the bench and apologize for that little blip in the radar.
Keenan Allen's got 2 catches today, Greg. He's been a non-factor. They've done a good job doubling him, cutting coverage his way.
And the catch is made by Mike Williams, and Williams
just 2 catches. They've been outstanding. Bills to keep the scoring down defensively.
That kneel down. Tua puts away his 3rd win in 3 starts, and a fine performance here, 15 of 25 for 168 and 2 touchdowns.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, 'cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1. Yes, we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Yes, sir. It's a great day. Just added a second app. It's a beautiful thing. I'm just taking care of business here. I don't stop, bro.
You really need to join the circus with all the juggling you do, brother.
I'm in the middle of reaching out to my webmaster, like, okay, I need you to add this now to the website, and here's the links, here's the picture, here you go do your thing, all that good stuff. Anyway, welcome aboard, folks. Yes! We're back. Unfortunately, yesterday I was just mobbed, and I couldn't do the show. We were all set up and everything for the show. I got off the air yesterday. I had 4 different meetings. It just, once I settle this whole radio station thing down and everything's cruising, we're building a Saturday block of entertainment. We just added a show for the morning, early in the morning from 6 to 8 now, leading into the morning juice, guys. So it's just one of those things, man, where I'm sorry. I was hoping to be on Monday. I know a lot of people were asking me about a post game for the Dolphins, and I just couldn't do it, man. It's just one of those things. My voice is better this week than it has been the last couple of weeks, so we're on the mend, as they say, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. You know, the best thing about what's gone on with the Dolphins and the 29-21 win, and I know that a lot of you out there that follow our podcast, you kind of feel like everybody's catching up to us, right? Because a lot of you that watch, I don't think all of you always agree with me, of course not, because that would be boring and that's not normal in life. We're all going to disagree. We all have different points of view. But I think a lot of you have kind of been on our bandwagon the way we've kind of described what's going on here with the Dolphins and the way they're developing the team. And we haven't panicked for certain things. Remember all these people that were talking about all the money they spent in the defense? And remember, I broke it down for you. Really, there's not a lot of big money. It's just a corner. The other salaries aren't anything. But still, they wanted to make a big stink about it, and they're not pressuring and all that. And this is after the first game or two. People were concerned about it, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Do you complain about Gesicki after you drafted him? No, you wait a couple of years, and now there you go. Do you complain about Jakeem Grant right away when you draft him? No, dude, you give him some time to develop. The kid has shown you all kinds of stuff and has played well this season. So you don't give up on the decisions made in week 1 or 2. Now all those people complaining about the defense and writing about this and that, they look stupid now. You look dumb now that you're complaining about a defense. You don't complain about something the second it's been put together, right? Last year, if I showed you the first 2 games of the Dolphins season, you would have never believed that they went 5-4 in the last 9. If I show you the first 2 games of this season and I tell you we're going to be 6-3, would you believe it? No, because you have to let things develop. You have to allow coaches to coach. You have to allow players to figure things out. You have to allow them to have some time to develop chemistry. All of these things have got to, develop, and that's what I like about what's happening here. It's everybody's now freaking out. Now people are talking about Chris Greer now, right? I think we've been talking about Chris Greer here for a long time now on this show, right? We've told you about Reggie McKenzie. We told you about Marvin Allen. We told you about their front office. I think we've said it over and over and over again. People will find out that the Dolphins have one of the best front offices in the NFL. They're now finding out. They're now figuring out what you knew, what I've been talking about, because this is what we've been all sharing on this show. We have not been about the panic and all that stuff. Remember, we had a couple of people complaining about Raekwon McMillan being we could have used him. What's going on now, dude? Are you still complaining about that? These are the things that it's crazy, right? And listen, total QBR right now during the 5-game winning streak. Total QBR, Miami is number 1 in the NFL at 36. Points per game in the last 5-game winning streak, 17.2, number 1 in the NFL. QB pressures, 86 in these 5 games, second in the NFL. Completion percentage, 57%, second in the NFL. So that, to me, is the most refreshing part about all of this, is that people are now on our bandwagon of all of this. They're now catching up to all of this. How about Tua? Are they still saying that we drafted the wrong guy? Because I got it on this chat board. I got it in emails. I got it on text. I got it everywhere. I'm afraid. I think we drafted the wrong guy. So you still saying that about Justin Herbert and Tua? I'm just wondering. See, you cannot react off of one game. You can't react when Herbert's playing and Tua isn't. You can't overreact when Gesicki starts his career. You can't overreact when Jakeem starts his career. Hell, when Eric Rowe first got here, it was up and down because they were playing him at corner. And then they figured out, this guy's good at covering tight ends. And now how does Eric Rowe look? Eric Rowe looks like a Pro Bowler now because you found his role. But if you reacted early on Eric Rowe, you would have said, same old Eric Rowe, get him out of here. And you would have never found the role for him. And that's what I love about all of this. You know that I'm hearing people on CBS or Fox or whatever, and they're playing Dolphin highlights, and they're like, I'm really amazed at how accurate Tua is. And I'm sitting back going, dude, what are you talking about? What the hell are you talking? What did you watch at Alabama? Because I watched that Alabama dude that was deadly accurate. So it's like, I'm surprised that Michael Brockers didn't break him in half. Okay, that's legitimate. Because Michael Brockers body slammed the dude. Did you watch what happened to Drew Brees right now when he got body slammed? Anybody check that out? Broken ribs, punctured lung. Okay? And the dude stayed in the game for a couple plays. Wow, Brees. Holy crap.
They're saying he went into that game with broken ribs. He might have. Because he got, like, what, 5 broken ribs?
Yeah.
Collapsed lung?
They slammed his ass, dude.
Yeah, man.
Slammed his ass. I'm just saying.
No question about his toughness.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, but that's my point. Those are the things you can question. Don't question his accuracy. Don't tell me, oh, I never knew he was intelligent. Really, dude? I never knew he was a great leader. Really? None of this stuff is surprising from Tua. The only thing I was ever concerned with, and that's legitimate, are injuries, because he's had several, and serious ones. But it's just weird how this dynamic develops. It's funky, and they overreact about tanking. They overreact about an 0-2 start this year. They overreact about the 0-7 start last year. There's always overreaction about all kinds of things. The defense early on in the season. It's just, it's funny to me to see how all of this has developed. And I love it, man. I love it. I think it's fantastic what's going on with the Dolphins. I think it's refreshing, too, on top of all of that, because we needed this. We've needed this for a long, long time. And finally, we got a team. Finally, we got a team we can trust, a team that can ball, a team that you can be proud of, a team you can trust. When was the last time you can trust the Dolphins? Right? It was the dude with the big chin walking the sidelines and the sunglasses. That was the last time you could trust the Dolphins. Listen to the word, trust. I know there were moments after Shula left. Moments. Kind of reminds me of where we're at right now at Inter Miami Stadium. That our team in its inaugural year has had moments. It has not been able to string together real good play for 90 minutes on a consistent basis. This team, you can trust. Talk about the Dolphins. You couldn't trust them under Tony Sperano. You couldn't trust them under Cam Cameron. You couldn't trust them under Jimmy Johnson. You couldn't trust them under Dave Wannstedt. Couldn't trust them under Adam Gase, Joe Philbin. Doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who the coach was. You could never trust the Dolphins because if they weren't getting embarrassed in the playoffs by Jimmy, they weren't getting to the playoffs with many others. That's just the way it was. And it's been for 20 years, 25 years now, because we got to talk about Jimmy. The last time you trust the Dolphins was the day of Shula. And now I believe you can trust Brian Flores. I told you last year, it's a great year. I got to see the second year. I've seen enough.
You're finally by Flores?
I've seen more.
Okay.
I've seen more than I think I bought him already earlier.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think I bought him earlier than that already. But it's just once I know that your year wasn't a fluke, and now I know that you're better, and he had no off season. That's the other thing I would love. I don't think you start 0-2 if you actually have an off season. That's how scary this team is. It's a good team, man. This is a good team. It's well constructed. And the process we thought was going to take 3-4 years, it's happening in year 2. That's ridiculous. I would tell you, no, man, you can't be thinking about playoffs this year. Don't do that to yourself. You're just going to let yourself down. Now you can think playoffs. They're 6-3, dude. They got Denver next week. I think Drew Lock may not even play. Is that right? So if Drew Lock doesn't even play, you got the Jets after that. I mean, the games that are coming up, Denver, the Jets, and Cincinnati. Those are 3 wins. You got to win those 3. That's 9-3. Then you play KC. Okay, 9-4. And I got to tell you something. They're not going to get blown out by KC. They're going to make that a game. Mark my words. Dolphins KC will be a game. They probably will lose, but they're going to lose a tight game. And I bet you KC ain't going to be favored by 10 points like they are against most teams. Watch. There'll be more respect because the Dolphins have corners. The Dolphins have a guy that can cover a tight end. You understand? It's a little different game now.
Got a pass rush too, man.
Yeah, oh, definitely pass rush.
As soon as the ball snapped, we got 3 guys, 2-3 yards on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Second best pass rush right now in the last 5 games in the NFL. Then you play New England. That's a win. They're going to beat New England. They're going to shut down their run, which they couldn't last time. This time they will, and Cam ain't going to beat you with his arm. Come on. Come on. Come on. And then you got the Vegas Raiders. You can win that game. I know it's at Vegas. We were supposed to be there on your birthday. You know, unfortunately. 2020's been such a bitch, dude. God, 2020 was going to be one of the greatest years of my entire life. Seriously. Outside of my daughter being born and marrying my wife, this was going to be probably the 3rd best year of my life with the things we were going to do. Not just podcasting, but just all the other things that we had planned this year. And on the 27th, we would have been in Vegas, you know, checking out some concerts and having a really good time. Wasn't there like a really good concert that we were going to in December in Vegas? Didn't we already have something planned? It's already been canceled.
Yeah, there
Wasn't there something that we were like in December that we were looking forward to? I forgot what it was.
Man, you know what? There's the list of concerts that we've missed has become so great. They kind of all hodgepodge together, okay?
Yeah, no, not only that, we were going to be working Rockville. The podcast was going to be at Rockville, and we were going to be in the media tent, and we would have had several artists come by to, you know, say hi and interview, which would have been
Metallica opening or closing Friday and Sunday with 2 different sets.
And I bet you we would have talked to somebody from Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
And during those days at the media tent. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, man? 2020, you don't normally say this like, you know, hey, time fly, blah, let's go. But, man, 2020 can't get the hell out of here fast enough.
Amen. Amen. But they've got Vegas and then at Buffalo. And they can beat Buffalo. I'm sorry. They're not unbeatable or anything like that. That's what I love about this Dolphin team. I can trust them. They're going to show up. They're going to play hard. And now they're going to win most of their games. That's pretty crazy, man. That's crazy to think anything like that right now. You can trust this team. That's awesome.
You know, something I was thinking about, look at all the different areas where it isn't like we haven't had injuries. We've had injuries and had guys out almost at every position.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Would you say that the reason that we are where we are is because we've established depth, not just starters. We have depth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible depth.
That's why we're 6-3.
They're using 6 linemen for 5. We couldn't have 5 for 20 years. We couldn't find 3 linemen for 20 years. These guys found 6 in their second year.
Look at what we just did this weekend. We had our 1 through 3 running back out.
Yeah.
Our top 3 running backs were out.
Godchild's out. What's it called? Wilkins is out.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
And so here's Seiler. Here's your 2nd-round pick, by the way. No, 1st-round pick, Raekwon Davis, in there. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. Samuel Robina in the house doing a little roll call. Omar Lopez says double dip time, baby. Thank you, sir. Clifton Wellman says hello, everybody. Samuel Robina says it's Tuesday and I can't wait for Sunday. I can't wait for Friday, then Sunday, because Inter Miami's in the playoffs. So Friday for me is a big day. Can't wait. Brandon Flood is in. Troy Ortiz is in. Jay Gelfand says, good afternoon, my brother, from another father and mother. Looking the My Radio app, My Tuner Radio. Thank you. And Radio FM now. That app has also approved us. So we've got a second app now. Radio FM has also approved us. So if you see a little, let's see show you how the logo looks for Radio FM. So My Tuner Radio has got us approved. And let's see, what else do we have here? And here it is. It looks like that. Radio FM. They also have approved us, which is a beautiful thing. I like it. Radio FM. Okay.
You know what was awesome? Sunday morning, waking up and like actually being like excited about watching the game. And the way they started, you know what I mean? It like where your excitement level started, it pumped it up because we blocked that punt, score that touchdown, and you're 2 minutes and a half into the game and you're up 7-0. It was like, yes. And exactly what you were saying, it being for real, like here, when we went up 14-0, and like you had talked about the Chargers missing guys and them still having a good coach, and we talked about it not being on Herbert, man, that was the biggest deficit that they had.
Yeah.
Even with losing the 5 coming in in a row, they had not gone down 14-0.
Yep. But Herbert's getting good at losing. Michael Mata says, what's up, O? Omar Lopez says, haven't felt this good about the Dolphins in forever. I'm telling you, it's Shula days. You got to go back to Shula days. Nobody has done this. Nobody. Not Jimmy, not anybody. Matthew Walker, what's up, Fins fans? Russell Voris says, barely hear you. Everyone's saying yesterday, the Cardinals are for real, like we didn't beat them last week. That's right. Up the volume, I think should be, but this is a bit ago, so nobody, it's probably you're fine now, bro. The Dolphins defense is the Bermuda Triangle. Anything enters, disappears. I like it, Matthew. George Albany says, howdy, gents. Romeo Garcia says, good afternoon, Big O and Bill. Miami will win the division. I agree. Miami will win the division. In fact, I think Buffalo will get tripped up again before Miami meets them, and then Miami beats them and really takes control of the division. I'm with you. Mr. Mola says, Big O, what up, man? All the way from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Nice, sir. My dad, when he served, was in Fort Bragg, too. Back in the very early 60s. I want to say like 60, 61. Something like that, maybe 59 he was serving. So, yeah. Let's see what else. And he says, my brother, thank you for all the positive reviews about our Dolphins. I'm just being honest. Hold on. I'm not Mr. Positivity on all this. Don't do that, okay? Don't convince yourself that I'm that guy. I'm not Mr. Negative, and I'm not Mr. Positive. I'm just telling you what I see.
Mr. Realist.
That's it. That's what I am. I'm not. It happens to be positive, okay? That's all. But, like if you I love Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu for the Panthers. I think they're fantastic. I think they're great owners. But that didn't stop me from telling you that Dale Talon sucks and needs to be fired. And, when people didn't have the balls to say it, I was the only one that had the balls to say Dale Talon's got to go. And it took a couple months, and then everybody got behind what I was saying. They finally picked up the courage, because once somebody breaks the ice like I did, then they'll do it. So it's not really about positives or negatives or anything like that. I'm just being honest. That's it. Okay? Because for 20 years, I had plenty of Dolphins who thought I was Mr. Negativity and that I hate the Dolphins and that I want – my favorite is I want them to lose because it's good for my show. That was my favorite one. No, he wants them to lose. So that way he can keep it on in his show and keep hammering them. So let's see. What else do we have here? By the way, let me go all the way to the bottom. I can hear you now. Go Fins, 11-5. Okay, so good. So there you go. Big Rig says, hello to everybody in here. Big O and Bill, I'm happy you guys were able to still have productive years despite all that's going on. And I love the Tuner app. Thank you. Have you seen some of the radio stations? There's a couple of rock stations and a couple of 80 stations on my Tuner radio app. They're pretty good, man.
Be safe out there, Big Rig.
Yeah, man. The Big Rig is in the house. Super V says, Big Bill, I almost forgot your Bears are in a world of trouble. Maybe they will bring back Jordan Howard. And he puts some laughing faces.
That ain't going to help. They need a lot more.
Well, hey, maybe he's a quarterback.
Look, I said this when we were 5-2, that we should have had 3 losses. And
yeah,
the
did.
reality of it, man, look, looking at the stats last night, they had 23 offensive plays in the second half. and their longest possession was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Right.
The other ones were like a minute 30, a minute. I feel so bad for that defense because, man, you could just see it, man. They run out of gas.
Yeah.
You know?
Eric Harris says they continue to get better every week. There is no ceiling for the team. They can beat the Steelers, Chiefs, and Colts. You know, Eric Harris, I would tell you normally stop smoking dope and you're drunk or something, but you're right, dude. You're right. I'm not telling you the Dolphins are better than the Steelers and better than the Chiefs, but I'm telling you this. If the Dolphins take the field against those teams, I'm not nervous at all. I feel like we have a coach that will prepare his team and give them a chance to win. I feel like we got a young quarterback that will figure things out as the game goes on. If you try to complicate things, I think he's deadly accurate. I think we have a defense that can get after anybody, dude. Anybody. And I think we have a defense that can make trouble for any player, any quarterback out there. That's the difference. So when Eric Harris says there's no ceiling for this team, they can beat the Steelers, Chiefs, and Colts, I am going to say, Eric, I'm 1,000% behind you on that one. You know, I probably won't pick them against the Chiefs, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you, oh, my God, I'm shocked they won. No. No shot. Not anymore. Not these guys.
I was thinking about this, though. The way our defense is playing, the way we are on special teams, if we don't turn the ball over,
oh, yeah,
you're going to have a really hard time beating this team, man.
Yeah, and our special teams is really good, too.
Yeah,
man.
they're exceptional.
Yeah, we play the field position game, and we got a field goal kicker that will put your ass through the uprights 40 yards out. Julius 305 says, Big O wanting the Finns to lose? Yeah, he also hates Chick-fil-A. There you go. Nice job, Julius 305. There you go. You get me, dude. Mike No Go Zone says, hello, Big O and Bill. Just checking in, and I'm loving the Onside Radio lineup. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. We got to get you on, Mike, to talk about your latest trips there, buddy.
Was thinking of you this morning, Mike. I saw a New York Islanders little tag.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Mike.
Pain.
Immediately.
Pain. I'll call you, Mike, so we can get you on later on in the week. Hunter Hayes says, I love how Flo told the reporters, I don't take anyone lightly when asked about the Jets being bad a while back. Exactly. That's the way it should be. You should respect all your opponents. They're all pro teams. Now, just because you're better, you need to go out there and play like it. Look at the Cowboys, dude. They almost beat the Steelers. And we know that right now the Cowboys aren't half the team the Steelers are right now, but the Steelers went in. They took the Cowboys a little lightly, and those guys are pros too. They earn checks too, and they got contracts that are going to expire. They got a year left on their deal. They're playing for another contract for somebody else. It's a lot of stuff on the line for people. GP Trap says, Big O had some Chick-fil-A for lunch up here in Broward. There you go. Nice job by you. Can't wait till we get the new ones in Dade.
I'm just wondering if you planted the seed, if they were listening earlier. You were the one that, hey, man, let's go to Chick-fil-A.
Well, GP Trap.
It's all on you.
GP Trap normally listens to both shows now. So, yes.
You're the seed planner on that one?
I would, I don't know about seed planner because, it is Chick-fil-A. Most everybody knows about
Man, I haven't
tasty little chickens.
You were really excited this morning. That was the first thing you said when we got together. Hey, man, there's 7 new Chick-fil-A's on the way in Dade.
Damn right. I love me some Chick-fil-A. George says, honestly, the early 80s into Marino's rookie year was the last time I can trust the Dolphins. I trust them now, too, Big O. You should. You should. Like I told you, Shula was the last guy we can trust. Everybody else, they never really got to that point. Jimmy tried to tell us we were going to be special, but he could never get there. Flipside Fishing says, last time we went with Lamar Smith and Crappy Fiedler, right? We have a balanced team this year. I don't want to try. I'm not doing the Crappy Fiedler thing. I got a little love for Jay.
Hold on, man. I know this.
I like Jay, man.
Those 2 years, man. There's only one quarterback that won more games as a starting quarterback in the league, and that was John Elway, and that was during their Super Bowl runs.
Yeah.
He won 23. Fiedler won 22 those 2 years.
Yeah.
Don't knock the guy too hard.
I like Fiedler, man. I know he was limited. I know he's not a superstar quarterback, but he was tough as nails. He sucked it up for his team. He was a leader. He was respected in that clubhouse or in that locker room. I'm sorry to use the baseball term in that locker room. I know because I covered the team. I'm not the guy, man. I can't be a Fiedler hater. I can't.
Let me just say something.
I just covered him personally, and I just had a lot of respect for the way he sold out for his teammates, man. You know, for like 4 or 5 weeks, he had a screwed up hand where he had to hand off with the opposite hand, and it made the whole process a challenge for him. But yet that guy never complained. He just sucked it up. He was a player, man. I got love for Jay Fiedler, man. I really do.
Don't look out the window too long because it's so bright outside that, like, when you come back here and you go to look at the board or anything, man, your visuals are gone.
Ohio John says, Big O, let's thank the Texans for helping the Dolphins out in 3 ways. The Tunsil trade, losing their games, and sending Hopkins to Arizona to make that play on the Bills. That's a good point. I like that, Ohio John. I like that. That's a good one, man. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on our text line. That's 786-322-1105. Steve D'Onofrio Jr. says, even after winning 5 in a row, winning games against good teams, most of the media still bash the Fins. They don't watch the games. We deserve respect. Steve, at this point, my brother, whoever's bashing the Fins is freaking clueless, bro. Like, absolutely clueless right now. You know what I would say to you, Steve? If you read somebody that's bashing the Dolphins now, don't ever read them again. Seriously. Like, you know, if you're going to have that lack of IQ, you're obviously a lot smarter than they are, Steve. So there's no reason for you. Find people that actually can give you logical takes on the Dolphins.
You know what this might be, O?
I'm not saying it's me or anything. I'm just saying find other people, because right now, whoever is slamming the Dolphins, bro, that's just a terrible look.
They may be looking at the tea leaves, and they've gotten so used to it. This is their last chance to be bashing us, because what's coming down this is it.
Right.
This is our lowest point.
Yeah.
From here on out, it only goes up. So, like that last hit, the last dig, right? Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know why you would do that, because then you're just doing stuff to just do it, which makes no sense. Dan Horsley says, huge credit to Coach Flo for his vision. It is coming to fruition. Also, have to give the proper credit to GM Greer and his department for finding the talent, pieces fitting and working. Exactly, sir. But remember, okay, what has changed here with the Dolphins? It's a matter that you actually did stuff that made philosophical sense, okay? Because you played human Jenga every year, and you would keep the GM and then add this coach, and then you would fire the GM and then you'd hire another GM and he'd inherit this coach, or you'd fire the coach but you had the GM in place, but you kept the defensive coordinator, so then you hired another coach and he has to inherit the defensive coordinator. And it just became a mess. And then the owner, the new owner in Stephen Ross, the last 12, 13 years, whatever he's been owner, he then started to think that he's Mr. Football Guy, and he was part of the coaching search in the process. And so he's the guy that liked Philbin, and he's the guy that also extended Philbin after a meaningless win. He's the guy that liked Adam Gase. He's the guy that fell in love with Ndamukong Suh at a Detroit Red Wings game. And so now the guy that used to fall in love with coaches and players is no longer making any more football decisions. And the human Jenga, that system is gone. What they did was they said, Chris Greer, we're giving you the job, and we're getting out of the way. And so for the first time, he actually did what I've been talking about forever. One, I said to hire Chris Greer, but two, most importantly, I said hire a GM and get the hell out of the way. And let that general manager hire his people. Do you know why? Because if that general manager gets to hire his people, it's people that he knows, people that he's going to be comfortable with, people that he has confidence in, right? I'm kind of doing the same thing at Onside Radio. A lot of the people that I've brought in, not everybody, but almost everybody, I've kind of known already, really know well or kind of known or know their reputations or whatever, and I'm trying to surround this company with as many good human beings as possible, people that want to work hard. No, I don't want any lazy people in this place. And so that's what you do. You build it with the people. So now Chris Greer gets to hire the coach he's known for 15 years in Flo. And now Flo gets to hire his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator, his special teams coach. He gets to decide who he wants and who he doesn't. Not the general manager, Flo. And then he wanted to solidify his personnel department. So does he go along with everybody that's there? No. But he probably kept some people that he liked, and he went and hired guys like Marvin Allen, guys like Reggie McKenzie to help him out. And so now all of a sudden, the coach and the general manager think alike. Well, that's because they're friends already. They know each other. They had a conversation. They talk philosophy. They felt they believe in a lot of the same things. It's working out. Flo hired his staff. He didn't like all of his staff last year. He made some changes. But it's gotten better and better. But he gets to bring in his people. And that's the difference. We never did that for 20 plus years. We never allowed synergy to take place. We were forcing stuff together. And that doesn't work. It's hard enough to do this. It's even harder if you're forcing the issue. So to me, that's the important part out of all of this.
Do you remember when we got rid of our defensive coordinator from last year, man, where people were at? What do we do? Why is he doing that? Remember that?
Yeah.
You look at what we're doing now.
He got rid of the offensive coordinator too.
But the biggest
got rid of his offensive line coach last year, remember?
Yes.
Like right in the middle of the season,
yes.
Right before the season started, the first week or
yes.
something like that. That's how it goes, man. But he gets to do what he wants, so he's comfortable. You don't force him to inherit something or take this coach or inherit this guy. No, we really like this coach, so you got to take him.
Everybody's on the same page, the same philosophical similarity. They're like, it's like the Heat. Like we know, if you're coming from the G League, you're going to step in the NBA level, and it's the same thing.
Yep. Super V says, Big O, you notice how Tua is always badgering Omar Kelly during the press conference? The kid's personality is awesome. Yeah, no, he's a good kid, man. He's fantastic. We're so damn lucky to have him. Big O, was there a part of you on Sunday that would have liked for Gailey to dial it up just a bit more? I know I'm getting impatient. No, dude. Miami Kid Jay, I'm just happy we're winning, bro. That's all. We got a competent team. We got a heck of a defense. We got a young quarterback that is growing. I'm just won 5 in a row. No.
When you have a defense like that, man, you don't open yourself up to making mistakes to give the game back, man.
Right.
You make them earn it against you.
Yep, I agree 100%. Flipside Fishing said Fiedler was a great leader and teammate. Just couldn't he hit a deep ball accurately to save his life. He wasn't a great passer. Jose O says the team can beat anybody and they're still learning and growing. I haven't felt this good about the Dolphins since Shula. That would make a lot of sense. Let's see. Tremolio says we need to trade at least one of the first round picks for a few 2022 picks and keep loading every year. We'll see what they do, Tremolio. It's got to be the right deal. Anthony Giandelletti says, hey-o, in an interview yesterday, Keenan Allen said their offense was confused the entire game against the Dolphins. It's fair to say the Dolphins' greatest weapon is their coaching with Flo. Yes, that's part of it. That's part of it, how he has like 7-8 guys line up on the line, and they have no idea who's coming at you and who's not. I love, the one of my favorites is the one where they're all standing around, right around the line of scrimmage. Remember they did that a couple times last year, and it's like a scramble right away, and you have no idea who's dropping back, and it freaks the QBs out, because they probably spend a second to a second and a half deciphering what's going on. By that time now, you have less than a second and a half to get rid of the ball. So it becomes like this real weapon for them. Now the key is that while you're all standing up like that, everybody must know their assignments. Like they've got to know exactly who they're going to check and everything. So once they break that line, whoever's going after the quarterback, fine. But whoever's dropping back, they got to make sure they get the assignments right and there's no confusion. And that's where you're well coached, that you're not making. Because remember, he was trying a lot of that stuff early on last year too, and they would make mistakes, but that was part of the growing process. Now you've got a lot of guys that were in the system last year. They know what to do. You've added a couple of other guys, so the transition hasn't been that bad, and you've been able to really use that as a weapon when you line up multiple people at the line and confuse the hell out of them.
That little maneuver, man, puts so much pressure on the offensive linemen. Those 5 guys in sync better go with the right guy, because if you go and double team, there goes somebody right off your left hip, man, and he goes right to the quarterback unabated.
Yep. Isai says, Big O, how are you? I'm fantastic, bro. Come on. I think Malcolm Perry reminds me of a lot of Julian Edelman, quarterback turned receiver. Well, let's hope so. He looked good this week. They used him for a couple of passes, and they used the young kids. I like that. Sage says, Big O, I thought I'd miss special teams coach Dan Rizzo, but wow, what an upgrade. Yep. Yeah, the whole staff is excellent. He says, meant to say Darren Rizzo. Yes, I know what you were saying, Sage. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for keeping it locked here.
How about on the offensive side? Some 3 tight end sets.
3 tight ends?
Sunday.
Yep.
You said it. That we're going to throw a bunch of different looks. The one when Perry, they had the announcers in the booth faked out.
Yes.
Oh, there's 2 already. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's Perry.
Yep.
Add a 0 to that one, man.
Yeah. They were doing they mix it up, man. They mix it up, and they keep you off balance. And all those people that we're talking about, Chan Gailey, they're looking pretty silly now too, Let's do this. Let's take a really quick break here, and we'll come back on the other side. Don't forget, on Thursday, we're going to be out at Toyota of Hollywood. We'll be broadcasting out there in the afternoon. On Friday, we'll be out at Craig's Inn, Acura of Pembroke Pines, as always, having some fun. We appreciate all of you out there. Give me 2 minutes, back in 2 minutes, and we'll continue the conversation right here on The Big O Show. Big O, for all of your family dental needs, please reach out to Moody's Dental. I've known Eric for a while, a big fan of our show. Call him at 305-821-0231. Whether it's you or your kids that need some dental help, whether it's implants, Invisaligns, they are the experts. Or if you're just looking to fill a cavity or clean your teeth, or maybe even get a crown, you are going to love the professionalism, the family-like atmosphere. And of course, when you talk about being clean, that's what it's all about in today's society. You are going to go to an extremely clean place. Go to moody'sdental.com. Go to the website. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Moody's Dental. Tell them that Big O sent you. 305-821-0231, or go to moody'sdental.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD. CBD, all of your hookah needs, you go to VSS West Pines.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
All right, we back. Yes, sir. It's a beautiful thing. Love it. Thank you all for supporting us like you do every single day here whenever we are on the podcast, because lately we haven't been able to be on every day during the week, which would be really, really nice, man. Anyway, if you all want to get in, it's really simple on 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Thank you, as always, out there for supporting us.
You talking about this genuine, real feeling, man? I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, Canes, Dolphins, Bears. Man, since 2002, Canes going into the Ohio State, like to really feel like
it's
teams
been
were.
like forever.
I mean, yeah, the Bears made it, but that Rex Grossman at quarterback. Come on. I mean, really, like, man, we got a chance to be special.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking 18 years, man.
Yeah. No. I'm with
20.
you.
Since to have that real feeling.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. Let's see, Hiru, because I have no idea what that first thing says. Hot Ep or whatever. I'm not sure. He says, I love the rock intro. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Man of 1,005 holds is in the house this afternoon, everybody. Hope you all are having a great Tuesday. Let's see. Hunter says, our defense is so badass and good. Those players having a bunch of fun. You are correct, sir. Lewis Jones says, Big O, the trenches are on the up. Yep, that's why they're playing really well, man. When you can play like that in the trenches, you will dominate. Dolphins advocate Mariano says, Big O, hope you're well, my man. Hansis got us ranked 11th with the Cards and Rams ahead of us. Hansis got us ranked? What does that mean? I'm not sure. What does Hansis mean? Is that like, did you misspell something? Anyway, so I'm not sure exactly what that means. Is that like our power rankings or something? Brother, all I know is the Dolphins are kicking ass. Don't worry about power rankings. Big O, the Dolphins belong on prime time. That they do. But now, see, the problem is you didn't know, I didn't know, they didn't know that the Dolphins are going to be this good. So now that you know, and remember, flex schedules are coming. So as they start to become flex scheduling on the back end here of this schedule, if the Dolphins continue on this trajectory, I would imagine they're going to get flexed into some of these games, and some others are going to be flexed out. You know what I'm saying? But you are correct. The Dolphins do deserve, that support. They definitely deserve the attention. They deserve the pub. I'm with you. Dan Hansis. I don't even know who that is. I don't know who Dan Hansis is. I'm sorry, dude. I apologize. I don't know who Dan Hansis is, my man. So, bien conocido en su casa, as they used to say. The one thing I will say to a lot of Dolph fans out there, and maybe most of you don't belong in this category, but this is what I would say to a lot of you out there that live in this. Enjoy the moment. Live in this moment. Don't actually, look, as much as I agree with a lot of you out there that think that this team can be competitive with anybody, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, whatever, you name it. I'm with you on that. But I would not sit there and expect them to be in the AFC Championship game and win the Super Bowl and that they should win 13. And, I'm not going to do that to myself. You know why? We've been suffering for over 20 years now. We've been wanting this feeling for a long, long time, right? We now got it. So why are we going to get ahead of ourselves and maybe put unrealistic expectations on ourselves? Why don't we do this, ladies and gentlemen? Why don't we just enjoy the moment, right? Because when the season started, we didn't expect 6-3. And then when the season started and we were 0-2, much less do you expect 6-3 after that. And yet that's what we got. So instead of trying to think of what we're going to do 4 weeks from now or 8 weeks from now, or if they're going to be in the playoffs, or if they're going to get into the AFC Championship game, why don't we do this? Because I'll tell you what was one of the more entertaining years in sports history in South Florida. It was 2003. And it was a little baseball team by the name of the Marlins. And that Marlins club, nobody knew that they were going to be that good. Nobody knew that they were going to fire their manager. Nobody knew that you would call up Cabrera and Dontrell Willis, and that Dontrell Willis would capture the imagination of the entire nation with his funky chicken delivery and all that stuff. Nobody knew it. And that was the best part about that year, that nobody knew it was coming. Nobody knew what you know now, that from May 1st on, they had the best record in the majors. Nobody knew it. Nobody expected. In 97, it was expected. We weren't surprised that they were in the World Series. It was fun. It was great that they won, but you weren't shocked that they won the World Series, were you? I wasn't. I mean, if you're old enough to have lived it like I have, I wasn't shocked.
Kevin Brown out lighter.
Are you kidding me? We had a great pitching staff, great bullpen. We had hitters up and down that entire lineup. Clutch mofos, too, on top of all of that. Several players that you did not want in a pressure situation. So why would you be shocked? But in 2003, we were. And right now, we're in the middle of that same feeling. So I don't want to build myself up and start thinking, well, we should be in the playoffs. Well, we should be in the Super Bowl. And then when we're not there, and then we have to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves, because we now realize, they were in the second year of rebuilding. Maybe I got a little ahead of myself. I'm not telling you it's not going to happen. I'm not telling you it's impossible that they can't win double digits, that they can't get to the playoffs, that they can't get to the AFC Championship game, and by some crazy-ass way that they can't be in the Super Bowl. I'm not telling you that. All I'm telling you is enjoy the coming week against the Denver Broncos. Okay? That's what I'm telling you. Enjoy that. Let's wait for this moment to take over, because maybe Tua passes for 350 yards this week and 4 touchdowns, and we have a lot of fun. Or maybe Sealer, whatever his name is, maybe Zach gets 3 sacks this week coming off his 3-year extension. Maybe, just maybe, Nick Needham picks off whoever is the quarterback for Denver, not once, but twice. Let's enjoy those moments. Let's enjoy Miami kicking Denver's ass. Let's enjoy Miami getting their 7th win first. Then let's get together and enjoy Miami getting their 8th win against the Jets. Let's not get ahead of ourselves in what's going to happen in Week 16, and that we deserve to be in the playoffs, and that we deserve to be on prime time, and all of that. Let everybody else catch up. Remember how I started the show? How everybody is kind of catching up to us? Let them catch up to our glory. Let them catch up to our fun. Let them catch up to our winning team. But for you out there as Dolphin fans, stay in the moment. Do you know why? It's been a shitty year. There's a lot of shitty things that have gone on. And there's going to be more shitty things going on, right? This is like one of the few moments that we're enjoying ourselves in 2020. So why build it up and beat yourself down? Why not just live in the moment and enjoy this week? And then we'll turn the page, as Bob Seger would say, and then we go and enjoy next week. You know what I mean? That's all I would tell you. Just take it week by week. Embrace it all. You know, just embody everything that's all about it. You know, get together with your friends, your family members, watch the games, root them on, social media, whatever you want to do. Just live the moment, man. We haven't had this in a long, long time. Long time. So why build yourself up for other things that has nothing to do with this week? Okay? Talking about week 15 doesn't have anything to do with this right now. Talking about winning 10 in a row has nothing to do with this right now. Talking about the playoffs or the Super Bowl or playing KC has nothing to do with what's going on right now. Let's focus on our team. Who's going to play on the offensive line? Who's going to get the sacks this week? You know, how well will Tua play? You know, how much will it affect the Dolphins traveling, going to Denver, playing in a mile-high city, all those things. It's their first time together as a team to go there. Let's live in this moment. So that way we can, like, thoroughly enjoy every week and put it back there in our memory bank. Because, again, we don't get a lot of these years. And I'm hoping there's more of this and better to come down the line. But for now, man, just enjoy this week. That's all. Enjoy the win that just happened and enjoy the next game coming up. That's what I would tell you. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. GP Trap says, I'm realistic. It's Flo's second year only. He needs time to build this team and get better, but it's more than I ever expected, so I'm very happy. You should be. Damn right. Let's see. Charlie Huff to Santiago. Super Boom Shack says, what was Johnson's first name? Are you talking about Charles Johnson, the catcher? Is that what you're talking about? Benito Santiago. Benito Santiago. I remember the was it John Routh was the one that was the, or no, he's not the announcer. It's longtime announcer over at Marklight. Oh, damn it, now I'm brain farting. I know the man's name. I can see his mustache right now, salt and pepper mustache. Oh, God, this is killing me that I'm not remembering this man's name.
Were you thinking John Roth?
No. That was the
Ibis that became Billy the Marlin, right?
No, I'm talking about the guy that's the announcer, that Benito Santiago. He's the guy Marklight Field, bro. He's been there forever. What's his name? Somebody help me out, please. Come on. I know somebody out there can help me. I can't remember everything. Boomerang says Miami or Buffalo in the AFC final. I can see that. Let's see. I almost blew out my arm once throwing a knuckleball. Let's see. Dolphin Advocate says Agrio. Call of Duty 1 says, why do people talk about Coach Flores as an African-American coach? Isn't he Hispanic? He's also black, too. So, usually when you're black, they say African-American. So I get it. Who cares, bro? To me, I got to tell you something. I hate the labels. I've said this for many years. I started with this label thing years ago when I was doing Spanish radio. And what's the name of the presidente? Was it? It's not Pedro Martinez. Do you remember, Bill? El Presidente? What was his name? The pitcher. Oh, God. Man, what was his name? Can't believe. See, now it's a couple things I'm forgetting. J-Ro something, right? It's not just J-Ro, the announcer. It's a little bit more than just J-Ro. We're forgetting a little bit of something else there, right? But you're all right. J-Ro Keefe, right? Is it like that? Something like that, I want to say. Anyway, Dennis Martinez. There we go. So Dennis Martinez gets a perfect game. Not a no-hitter. He throws a perfect game. And I'm doing La Ensalada Deportiva back in those days in the early 90s, 91 or 92 or something like that. And he, maybe it was 93 or 94. I don't know. Whatever. Look up Pedro Martinez's perfect game. It was early 90s. And so, yeah, it was after 91. I'm pretty sure of that. But anyway, as I digress here. So he gets the perfect game, and they go, he's the first Hispanic pitcher ever to pitch a perfect game. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, isn't he just another great pitcher that pitched the perfect game? Because it bothers me that it becomes almost a lesser accomplishment because you're a minority, because you're a woman, because you're gay, because you're whatever. So it's like it's the first whatever doing it outside of a white person. That's kind of what it sounds like. And to me, that's where I hate those labels. I really do. It's an insulting label. Okay? If you're a great football player, basketball player, baseball player, whatever record you broke, you're not the first Asian. You're not the first Latin. You're another player that broke someone else's record, is what you are. But then when we have to start to identify, you know what it reminds me of? When the person calls you a jerk, that's fine. I'm good. But all of a sudden now you're a Cuban jerk? That's where obviously now it becomes bias. Because you're just a jerk. It doesn't matter what nationality you are, you're just a jerk. If you happen to be Cuban or Haitian or French or German or Russian or whatever. You know what I mean? So I always hate those labels because to me, it's almost degrading, those labels. Because you're just another great player that beat the record of another great player. You're not an African-American player that beat a white player. You're not a Latin player that beat a black player. No, dude, you're just an athlete, period. You're just a great baseball player, football player, hockey player, and you beat somebody else's record. That's it. So I kind of hate those labels that we put on people. Well, he's the first Italian-American quarterback. Who cares, bro? Who gives a rat's ass if you're Canadian or Italian or Cuban, bro? You're a quarterback. Period. I just kind of find it. I almost like, yeah, J-Ro Keach. That's it. Thank you. It's almost like it's almost like you've got to find a way to not talk about the record in the same light that it was accomplished. And that you're also, it's almost like, well, you're the first Latin player. You're the first, Cuban player, Dominican player. So does that mean that it's a taller hurdle to accomplish as a Cuban player over a white player? Or is it about the same crap? Probably the same crap, right? That's why, to me, these labels, I personally can't stand them. I hate them. And it all started with Dennis Martinez. That day was the day that I was like, yo, dude, I'm tired of these labels. Dennis Martinez is a great pitcher, period. I don't care what nationality he comes from. I don't care what color he is. Just kind of weird. All right, 786-322-1105. Anthony Manzano says, Orlando, there's rumors going around from the Daily Mail in England and the USA Today here in the U.S. that Inter Miami might be going after Sergio Ramos. Oh, those are old, brother. And listen, we've been hooked with Sergio Ramos. We've been hooked with Ronaldo. We've been hooked with Cavani. It just goes on and on and on and on. And yet it was Matuidi that we got, which we were never hooked to. It just came up right away, and then we signed him. And it wasn't, what's it called? Higuain. Now, all these other ones that we're hooked to and, rumored with, I don't know if it's going to happen, but and Ramos looks like he's going to stay in Europe, that he's using the MLS as pure leverage. Oh, with our obvious need for a stud running back, do you think the Finns will draft one in the first round, such as Travis Etienne? I think they will draft one, and it'll be somewhere in that latter part of the first round to second rounds. Yes, I do. Yeah, I think they will. J-Ro was with the Marlins in 97 for their first win. Yeah, I know. I remember. He was it's him, Benito Santiago. That was J-Ro Keach, man. He was there from the inaugural year on, and then I don't know when they let him go. I forgot when they let him go. They should never let him go, but whatever. I know. Sorry, J-Ro. If I was running the Marlins, you'd still be there. That's for damn sure. Let's see, what else do we have here? One guy says, I doubt it even lasts the second round. Etienne may not last the second round. You never know. All depends. Which Miami sports team is your favorite if you can only root for one, cover one? Come on. Come on, Anthony. I think I show that every day of my life. You know what I mean? I think every day of my life I show I love all the local teams in town because I'm a hometown guy, always been that way, always will be that way. But there is one team that towers over everybody else. Come on. Let's go. We got 98 people on the chat board right now. If you had to guess, which is the team for me that towers over everything? Go ahead. Answer it for Anthony. Come on. Send in the text right now. What is that team? Okay? Let's see if you guys can guess it.
There's a clue. Years of tenured service in the South Florida sports market.
Could be. O says, Leon Fresco giving us a little love on the super chat. He says, what do you think about the U.S. men's soccer team? Well, what I saw yesterday from Panama with all those young guys, loved what I saw, dude. Claudio Reyna's kid is really good. And those young guys, man, what I loved was they were really alert on using each other a lot. The passing was really, really good. And they didn't bother with any of the guys in the MLS because they didn't want to disrupt what was going in the MLS playoffs. So they brought the guys who were all in Europe. All these young kids that are playing in European clubs, they look fantastic. I love what I saw from it. Actually gave me hope, like, okay, wait a minute, we're actually headed in the right direction. That's what I felt like when I saw those young U.S. players, man.
Are we going to qualify for the World Cup? I mean,
let me tell you something.
That was horrible.
If this young group qualifies, they will make some noise. Okay? I don't know if it's too late for them or whatever, but, you know.
You're already like that. Like, not just get in and participate and get a badge.
They got skills.
Man.
That was fun to watch. And I know it's Panama, but they beat Panama the way they're supposed to. They spanked their asses 6-2.
And you said that Pulisic.
Yeah, he wasn't even there.
The beast wasn't there.
No, he wasn't even there.
So it could get even better.
Yes. It's scary. Ian from Brooklyn says, good boom. The Dolphins are legit. All is well. Hope you and the family are well. Thank you, Ian. Tarnaman says, the label comes because blacks had to fight and claw for human rights and equality for 400 years and counting. Yep. Still doesn't make the labels right. Labels suck. You're a great player. You're not a great black player. You're not a great Latin player. You're not a great Asian player. You're a great player. Ohio John, Dolphins. Peter, Fins. Call of Duty, The Fusion. Super Boom Shack, Miami Hooters. Anthony Giandelletti, a smiling face. Matthew Walker, Fins. Julius 305, Miami Hooters. You guys got to take the Miami out. I'm a big fan of Hooters. Let's go, GP Trap, Dolphins. Tremolio, Fins. Rosendo, Fins up. Antonio Lucatero, Fins number 1 on your list. Fred Soros, Dolphins. Leon Fresco, Fins. I think Anthony now got the answer. Sergio says, I'll say O's favorite team is the Miami Fusion. Let's see, the first team in Miami for any sports league was the Miami Magicians. It was a pro baseball team from the Negro Leagues, I believe. Tremolio says, my dad saw Satchel Paige pitch in the old Miami Stadium. That's like the go-to right there, dude. You talk to any older person, hey, you know Satchel Paige pitched here. I was always like the thing, man. When you were growing up and you go to the Miami baseball stadium, at one point or another, somebody will tell you, hey, you know Satchel Paige pitched here.
My dad saw him.
Yeah,
back then.
That's what I'm saying. It's just,
I was like, what? You had to be a kid. He's like, yeah, exactly.
There was 87,000 people in that game, and really it only held like 4,000 people. So, yeah, it was amazing. Everybody was at that game that was old. You know Satchel Paige pitched there. You know Satchel Paige pitched there. It's just one of those things. You kind of lived with that legend that they would talk about with Satchel pitching at Miami Baseball Stadium. I mean, hell, man, Miami Baseball Stadium, you know, Mickey Mantle played at Miami Baseball Stadium, you know? So it's pretty cool. Big O, a big shout out to Salvan Ahmed. I like it. You know, he likes it with a little lemon twist. Ahmed. Okay. Palm Beach Expos. There you go. Love the Palm Beach Expos. Big O, do you have an assessment of the Broncos and Fangio heading into this matchup? Are they in the same boat as Lynn and the Chargers? No, they're much worse. They're much worse. Yeah. Their quarterback situation is a disaster, especially if the kid doesn't play. The kid does have talent, but he'll turn over the ball. Broncos are a team. They got a decent defense, but Miami should beat them. They're the better team. They got to take care of business, and they should turn them over early, too. Miami should get some easy points in that first half. They'll be in control. Don't worry about that.
They're missing 2 major cogs on defense.
Yeah.
And they've been out all year. They're missing the Cortland, the wide receiver. Yeah, and the
Cortland Sutton.
Sutton, thank you. And the tight end, Fant Kid's been hurt in, out. Their running backs, you know, it's been up, down.
Yep.
We're favored by 3.
Yep.
We should be able to cover the line, you think?
Yeah. Oh, I'm giving the 3 points.
Exactly.
Joshua Wall says, I'm starting to really get excited about the draft as Miami will probably have a top 5 pick. I'm with you, Joshua, but I'm just going to wait on that. I'm not even going to think about the draft right now because I just want to enjoy the season. Like I told you, I'm going to live in the moment, man. I'm going to enjoy this. I don't get a lot of this as a Dolphin fan in the last 20 years, and I know this isn't a fluke. We're going to get more of this for years to come here, but I just want to really enjoy this. Let's see. No, the first pro team in Miami was the Miami Seahawks of the All-American Football League that folded in the 1930s. Miami Seahawks was moved to Baltimore and changed the name to the Colts. I remember the Miami Seahawks history. I don't know anything about them because I didn't see them early, but I do know about the Miami Seahawks. Anthony says, Orlando, as a Heat fan, are you worried that we're not able to compete with Boston or Brooklyn if they get James Harden in a trade? Not at all. I think we can compete with Boston, and I definitely think we can compete with Brooklyn. You're falling too much for the major talent on that team. And, yes, I know that Durant is special. Kyrie Irving doesn't scare me. He's got great handles and all that, but he just doesn't scare me. Plus, he's always injured. And I don't think this Harden thing really creates the synergy they're looking for. So I think Miami will still be the better team when it's all said and done. Okay? They might have a couple of the better individual talents, but I think Miami will be the better team when it's all said and done. Okay? So should be fun, man. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. We take you, of course, till I have no idea. Whenever we want to go.
About that time.
Exactly. Ray Grulong gives us a little love on the super chat. And he says, howdy, Orlando. Thank you always for Onside Radio. Dig it. A real local sports station. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. We're working on it. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We do want to remind you that the show is proudly brought to you by Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, the finest Acura dealership in the planet, baby, at 15601 Pines Boulevard. Get on down there. Got 2020s, got 2021s, the 2020s while they last, and they're going to make you a great, great deal right now. So get on down there, take advantage. And, of course, you could still buy online, too. So if you want to purchase online, you don't want the contact, and you want them to bring you the car, they can do that also at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Please tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you, I promise you. And if you're a military veteran, $750 off at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Hey, it's Big O. For all of your CBD, THC, or hookah needs, you got to get on down to VSS West Pines at 12397 Pembroke Road. Yes, they have got legal THC. You've got to check it out. And they've got, of course, when it comes to CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, for all kinds of reasons, whether it's pain, stress, anxiety, you name it. And don't forget, when you mention my name, you'll get 20% off. Tell the boys out there that I told you to get on down to VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road, and call them 954-613-3367. Legal THC, CBD, all of your hookah needs. You go to VSS West Pines.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to peer, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction. Listen, I've been telling you about Eric for a long time now. Custom home builder for additions, home remodeling. We're not talking about a handyman. Maybe you want to redo that man cave. We're not going to a lot of live sporting events. So you want to improve that experience in your man cave? Call them 305-433-4843. Tell them that Big O sent you and go to the Instagram page. You can see see the before and after there. You'll be impressed. EJD_construction. Call them 305-433-4843 or go to the website ejdconstruction.com.
America's premium sports sedan is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. TLX, $259 a month, $259 at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All right, we back, baby. Thank you all, as always, for supporting us. And I'm sorry about the unevenness of the show, because normally we spoiled you for over a year that we were on every day, Monday through Friday. And obviously, with everything that's gone on with Onside Radio, and my life is kind of gotten a little upside down. But it's a good upside down, but I just got to get through all of this and figure everything out. And then once everything is settled and we've put everything together, then I can have something permanent on an everyday basis.
It isn't like you've left them high and dry.
No, I know.
You got them.
Us on Onside Radio.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there is an outlet, and actually, you brought even more because you brought a bunch of people with you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But yes, we're going to keep trying to do this. It's just got to kind of, like you said, man, get this smoothed out and get some normalcy to your life.
Right. Right.
This guy's going, there isn't a second from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed that he's not texting, talking, doing something, pertaining to helping get sports, South Florida's market straightened out.
Right. And I appreciate it. Thank you, as always. There you go. Thank you all out there, as always, for supporting us as you can. Ray says, same here, working from home until late June. Super Boom Shack. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? GP Trap says, the Miami Magicians were a minor league baseball team in 1912. They ended because of World War I. The Seahawks were the first pro team in 46. That became the Colts. There we go. Francisco Santana says, you literally look like I would look in 30 years. Trippy. Wow. Well, that's not a good thing, for Francisco. You don't really want to look like me. But, hey, man, listen, more power to you. Just wear a mask if you're going to look like me. Let's see, because Lord knows I got a face for radio. Sean Campbell says, can't chat while I'm Comcasted. That's lame. Come on, YouTube. Oh, Chromecasted. Okay. Well, get off the Chrome, bro. Let's get you, another browser in there. Get a little Firefox or something if you can't get Windows. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O is a baller, hustler. Got to grind while we can. We try, my brother. We try. Anthony says, Orlando, with the Miami Marlins hiring Kim Ng as their general manager, do you think this opens up more opportunities in the male-dominated sports for a female general manager in the NHL, NBA, and NFL? Oh, it's coming, dude. It's coming. It's going to end up happening. The doors are going to be open for women like they are now, and now they will be able to get the opportunity to get the experience to then build the resume where somebody will trust them. Now remember, everything takes time, my brother. This is right here in Miami, we're the first NFL team to have a black head coach and a black general manager. Nobody does that. Okay? Very few have gone with the black general manager, and very few have gone with the black head coach. To do both, that's crazy. So to do what the Marlins did with Kim is also absolutely nuts. But it'll take a while before we get to that point, Like Becky Hammon with the Spurs, she might be the woman that is the first one to become an NBA head coach. God, I used to have a crush on Becky Hammon when I was young. When she was like an Olympic player, I think it was, in those days, she was smoking, dude. Smoking. Lisa Rose chimes in, says, ROC is in the house. Little Rochester is in the house, taking a COVID-19 training break. So excited to watch football on Sundays again. Isn't it awesome, Lisa? And thank you for the work you're doing with COVID-19, Lisa. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all out there. Not only Lisa, but every one of you out there in the front lines, trying to help the rest of us, get our lives back on track. Bones C says, what's up, Big O? One more game, and the wife has to buy me my jersey. Nice. And that happens this Sunday, so you get your jersey. Miguel Garcia says, Bill is now working on the other station. Well, actually, Bill is now training to start next week and do some work at the station. So, yes. He just doesn't have the experience that I need early on to build a station. He still is gaining that kind of experience. So that's why. That's the only reason.
I've only been doing this like a year and whatever, and like actually playing with the board like that. What I do, 5 months, 6 months, and I was only on it for a month and a half, and it's training wheels over here, guys.
Yeah. It's a little different. It's not. Put it this way, it has nothing to do with me not wanting him to be there. Put it that way. Okay? It has nothing to do with that. It's just I got to do things the right way, and I got to build it the right way, and I got to get like really, really experienced people, and he's not there yet. That's all.
No, you had to come out kicking the door in and taking names and all. And I mean, I had no background in this at all. Like I'm totally green, you know?
Yep. So all with time, man. Nothing happens overnight, man. Big O, do you think we should get at least 2 weapons in the draft? It'll happen, Omar. They will get them weapons. Relax. It'll happen. Yeah. Just remember, we can't do everything over. We can't live in this microwave society. Everything takes time. And having said all that, Omar, we're in the middle of our second year of rebuild, and we're going to the playoffs. That's crazy. So they got a great shot. I shouldn't say we're going to the playoffs, but they got a great shot of being in the playoffs, okay? And that's pretty amazing in their second year. Benjamin Franklin once said, if you want something done as a busy person, there's truth to that statement. After all, the busier we are, the better we manage our time. God, I don't have enough time in the day, dude. I wish I could. Oh, how do you think it will go over for a female head coach in football or basketball? Choose out a superstar player in front of their teammates. If she's accomplished, if they're winning, everybody will be fine. Remember, it's not about a sex thing. Even though obviously we'll have sexist and we'll have chauvinistic approaches to all of this when we're talking about women, That's automatic in life. We know that there's going to be a certain group of men that aren't going to ever accept it, and you can't do anything about that. But having said all that, okay, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter to me. If you're teaching your players how to win, and they are winning, and they're succeeding, and they're reaching their incentives and their contracts and all of that, and then you chew them out, they got no problem with it. Okay? Now, if what you're teaching is not working, if what you're teaching is leading to failure all the time, and players aren't winning, and they're not reaching their incentives, brother, I don't care if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're both, if you're whatever, if you're a eunuch, okay? I don't care. If you do not teach what's working, you cannot rip into players. They will tune you out. Gone. They don't care. They don't want to know anything about you. How screwed up is that? Right? That's amazingly screwed up. You know? But I think if the woman is coaching it the right way, they'll be able to rip into anybody because players only want to be coached the right way. That's it. And if you're Cam Cameron, dude, it doesn't matter if you have tits. You're going to fail. Okay? You can be Cam Cameron with 44 Ds, right? And a body like Halle Berry. And, yeah, they'll be salivating when they're looking at you. But if you don't know what to do on the field and you're losing and they're being embarrassed and you're Adam Gase and all that, you're done, bro. You're done. So that's really the threshold. Okay? Competent coaches can do whatever they want. Incompetent coaches will never have that kind of freedom or that respect. So that's really what it's all about. Okay? You get it done, you'll be fine. Yes, sir.
Going to be tough, though, because of how
especially early on.
Machismo,
Early on,
sports,
for
you know, the
sure.
guy world, tough, all that stuff.
For sure.
You know, it
For sure. Now,
they're up against it, man.
Now, if San Antonio players have been coached by Becky Hammonds behind the scenes, and she's helped improve some players in anything, she is already winning that locker room over. So if Pop steps down and she takes over, it might be an easier transition for her.
Because she has an established relationship and the players have already bought in.
Right. And remember, she's a former pro player herself, so it's not like
she knows the lay. She knows the lay of the land.
You know, and Becky Hammond is not a schmuck.
World
Hammond is
renowned,
not-
like you said, Olympic team.
Yeah, she's
you know,
she knows her stuff, dude. So that's the thing. You could be Sue Bird, but you've got to have success, and then they'll respect you. You know what I mean? But you're right, 1,000% right. There are going to be, hurdles early on that'll be brutal for a lot of women.
Look,
that cross that threshold.
Here, gay people coming out in sports, that's still a barrier because of that machismo, old Neanderthal thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, and in that case, it needs to be a superstar to break the ice. It has to be the superstar that people can't live without on the team, and then they'll accept who you are, and then they'll learn to live with it.
So kind of just crush it.
Right, exactly. That's what it has to be. It needs to be that, because if you're just a fringe player, then it becomes a novelty. It doesn't really hit home. When it becomes a star, it hits home, and then it's, okay, we need to change, because if players like this are going to be gay, we've got to accept it. You know, it's kind of like the way you got to program these guys.
Well, it's like you talked about, any of that fringe stuff becomes a
novelty
adversary in your locker room. Something that's pulling away from the main focus, and coaches don't want that.
It could be a distraction.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a shame it's got to be that way, but you're all right, man. Until it's a star.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an issue.
GP Trap says, I'll take J-Lo coaching over Adam Gase. Hell yeah. GP Trap is thinking of that scene from Weird Science where she, at the end of the movie, she's in the gym and, and the guy is
drop and give me 20 or whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. That's it. That's what GP Trap is, just thinking those kind of things. Knowing GP Trap, he thinks of the Police Academy scene where she flips the guy and her breastises are right on his face. That's what GP Trap is thinking. And that's good stuff, GP Trap. I'm with you there. Big O, it's hard for females. If a lady has Adam Gase's type of season, how would they get treated in the locker room? Like crap, bro. Like I just told you that. If you prove you can't coach, you can't lead. If you prove you can coach, you can lead, you can rip, you can joke around, you can do whatever the hell you want. Because the guys will believe you. They will, no. She knows what she's doing, dude. We're winning. I'm reaching my incentives. I've made more money because she's there. I'm good with her. That's going to be the key. That's going to be the key. Guaranteed. I doubt men would ever allow a chick to be the head coach, Joshua says. You need a head coach to relate to the players. Flores endears himself to the players because he grew up in the hood. God, Joshua. Man, that's a terrible take, dude. That's a terrible take. First of all, the chick thing, it's like, wow. And relating to the player, let me ask you something. You are assuming that every player grew up in the hood. That's a terrible assumption, bro. It's a terrible assumption. There's a ton of guys that didn't grow up in the hood. Okay? So that has nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I think you have a bad perception of NFL players. You think pretty much every one of them are from the hood. And yes, there's plenty of them from hoods. There's from barrios. There's from neighborhoods. There are different kinds of neighborhoods.
Not just that.
But they're not all from a bad part of town.
Well, not just that. Male chauvinist, too, is the way he's making it sound.
That too, the chick thing, So it's, damn, Joshua. That was rough. Orlando, do you think superstar athletes like Dwayne Wade, Tim Duncan, and Peyton Manning would be successful as head coaches, or their Eagles would take over and wouldn't be successful? Anthony, my brother, it is extremely tough to be a great player and a great coach. Think about it. How many of them are there? Bird was a pretty good coach and was a great player. Trying to think of the great player and the great coach. There's not a lot of them, man. And usually they fail like Magic Johnson and others because they think everybody can do what they do. Okay? Ozzie Newsome is one of the few people that transferred even to GM and was a great player. You know what I mean? Jerry West was a great GM, never became a coach.
Larry Bird did a decent job.
I said that. That was my first guy that I went to.
That's the only one
good,
that
but he wasn't great. He was good. Wasn't great, but he was good. It's hard, man. Lenny Wilkins, Hall of Fame player, won a championship. That was one of those kind of guys right there. But there's not. It's really Kevin McHale was never a great coach. You know what I mean? It's happened a lot. And great players struggle mostly because they don't know how to deal with the player they're coaching, and that player can't do the things he did. And so it's hard for them to comprehend that, and that's why they usually fail as coaches. It's really hard. So it's not a Dwayne Wade thing that he would fail on this. It's not one of those deals where it's not because those players can't do it. It's just a really difficult transition for them. And I almost feel like they don't have a realistic point of view of coaching. They don't realize that most people aren't going to be able to do what they did. So to demand it from them, Mike Singletary, great player. It was just hard for him to break that barrier of becoming a great coach, too. It's really difficult, man.
Defensive coach, he was good, but
head coach
took over the head coach.
Tough, but it's not his fault. It's just one of those things that you can't explain, man. Let's see. Without Adam Gase, we won't be in the postseason. Well, in the position we were in, if he can, effed up the team. I don't know what that means, Omar. Tom Landry looked like a damn nerd with that hat. How did that turn out? Dude was a genius. Let's see. Joshua, you okay, man? Embrace the education of the O.
The fact that he brought up Landry, you know who's one player that's always bothered me?
What's that?
Frank Gifford. Him playing both ways, and on the offense and defensive side, his coordinators with the Giants were Vince Lombardi and Greg and Tom Landry.
Yes.
And to never be inspired to want to be a coach.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, most guys don't want to be coaches,
I
bro.
know. It's just, man, you're talking about, can you get influenced by two bigger guys?
I know, but it's brutal being a coach.
You know?
You got to really love it to be a coach.
Well, he was U.S., I guess, Hollywood glamour glitz boy, and
yeah. Yep.
I don't want to get dirty.
Big O, tell Joshua that Greg Popovich won with the Spurs, and I'm sure that he and the players had different backgrounds. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Marine guy, what's it called? The military guy, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I don't think every coach comes from the hood. I don't think every player comes from the hood. I just don't think that. I think leaders have to learn how to connect with everybody. Somebody rich, somebody poor, somebody educated, somebody uneducated, somebody with a sense of humor, somebody without a sense of humor. I think you've got to learn how to deal with all kinds of different people. Somebody from the countryside, somebody from the hood, somebody from the barrio, somebody from a rich neighborhood. Everybody's different. So I believe that, coaches have to have that knack that they can relate to or find a way to relate to everybody. They don't have to live what everybody else has lived, because nobody can do that, because most of us did not live the way everybody else lives. And so that becomes a little bit of a challenge for you. But I think it's more than just what environment you were in. You know what I mean? It's an adaptable thing. It's a talent to be adaptable. You know what I'm saying?
We've heard it from some coaches talking about this player I needed to give a hug and a pat on the back, and this one and I need to put my foot in his rear end.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's about, like you said, being able to juggle and know how to reach the individual to get the most out of them.
Yep. Miami Kid Jay says, Big O, nothing against Herbert, but I left that game Sunday thinking our quarterback is better. I'm with you. I thought the quarterback was better before in the draft, now, during the game, and after the game. So I'm with you all the way on that one. Alex from Miami says, Big O, how do you think a female head basketball coach would react to the clueless, half-naked, perfect 10-arm candles sitting on the floor? I mean, first of all, if you think they're going to be naked, those guys will be dressed when the coach is addressing them. They'll, out of respect, the guys will probably put on towels and all of that. There'll probably be an assistant coach that comes in and says, hey, coach is going to talk to you. And so most guys, especially leaders on the teams, will probably, if anybody wants to stand out with their balls out in the air and all of that, they'll probably get called out. Not at that moment, but once she walks out the door, one of the leaders in the locker room will probably walk over to the guy and say, hey, yo, what the hell are you doing, dude? Have some respect. So I doubt most people will act the way you're talking about, that they're all going to be hanging out, with their schlongs out. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that's something that's kind of overblown. And here's the other thing I would tell you. When you walk into a locker room, there's a misconception also. Not everybody's naked. Okay? That's the other thing. That's a lie. Yeah, there's a couple of naked guys. Yes, of course. But when you walk into a locker room, all 53 dudes are not naked. It's only a couple of guys. And normally on a post game, those guys are getting dressed somewhere else, and they're coming in semi-dressed to their lockers. They got their underwears on, they got towels, they got a shirt or something, and then they take that stuff off, not the shirt or the underwear. They just take the towel that they have that they're drying themselves with or whatever, throw it on the floor, stand there, and then start to get dressed. So, sometimes I think people make it sound like it's just a sausage fest all over the place, and it's really not. That's not the case in a locker room. It's a couple guys. So I would imagine that if you have a female coach, that when she is going to address players, they will cover up or they will be dressed up. Okay? So there you go. By the way, let me ask you something. It's funny because you see the sexist way of thinking, right? This guy sends in, hey, so what do you think if the female coach walks in and there's schlongs all over the place? And so she's standing there addressing people and schlongs are swinging all over the place. And guys are standing like, hey, what do you think, coach? Yeah, I'm behind you all the way, coach. No, that doesn't happen. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think Gino Auriemma walks into a bunch of naked women? Do you think Bill Laimbeer, who coaches in the WNBA, you think there's just a bunch of naked women when he walks in? Or do you think maybe an assistant coach says, hey, coach wants to dress you, they get dressed? It's funny how it's only thought of by the male one way, but they never think of the other one. And they never think that there actually could be some common decency. Yes, we know that there's the idiot, there's the Antonio Browns of the world. There's an idiot in every locker room. I get that. But more often than not, if you do have a female that is your coach, okay, if the woman needs to dress the players, trust me, they will be dressed. Because I'm sure that's what happens with men who coach women. Okay?
Not just players. Remember, we had comments about, she got to see, Patriot missiles up close and personal.
Yes.
Yes. It just doesn't apply to the players,
right.
The idiots.
Right. What was her name? What was the name of that woman that walked into the Patriot locker room? And then the dude, again, there's always an idiot. And then there was a dude that just wanted to, show off his schlong to her. Lisa Olson, I want to say. Look it up. Look up reporter that saw Patriot missile. Just put it like that. I want to say it's Lisa Olson. Dude, if I nailed that, okay? I don't know if I should say nail that when we talk about a woman and a penis. I don't know. That just may not be the right thing that you should be talking about, but I want to say it's Lisa Olson. Okay? That'll be amazing if I remember that. All right? Oh, what comes first? A gay superstar comes out or a female head coach in the NFL? Oh, no, gay superstar.
I literally put it in just like that. Reporter who saw Patriot missiles up close.
And?
Bro, you freaking nailed it, man.
Lisa Olson?
Lisa Olson is an American sports journalist.
There you go.
Her work has been featured in the anthology
she's a good reporter.
Patriot missiles up close.
Yeah, she's a good reporter, man. I don't know if she's still working, but yeah, she's a good reporter. I remember. Orlando, the NFL changed the criteria for the Offensive Rookie of the Year award step by stats. It should be done, but whatever. Rookie leads his team to the playoffs. I'm not worried. Dude, I don't care about that. I just want our team in the playoffs, man. That's all I care about. I'm not worried about awards. The only award I want, my brother, is something called the Lombardi Trophy. I need to see that one more time. That's the only award I care about. I don't care about MVP. I don't care about Rookie of the Year. I don't care about Defensive Player of the Year. I don't care about Quarterback of the Year. I don't care about Manager of the Year. I don't care about Coach of the Year. I don't care about Assistant Coach of the Year. I don't care about Coordinator of the Year. I don't care about any of that. I just want a Lombardi Trophy. That's all. I just want to be at the Super Bowl. I want to watch my Dolphins win the Super Bowl, and that's it. I'm done. Life is good. Life is complete. Okay? That's all I need. Just need my Dolphins to win the Super Bowl.
The individual accolades are nice, but kind of like the Canes. The 2 Heisman trophies we have, we're in the national championship game,
Right.
and we get beat. And I've said, I don't care if we ever win another Heisman trophy. Give me the national championship. And along those lines,
Same thing.
It's exact that thinking, bro.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Anthony says, I'm not sure if you're old enough, but what would have happened if Roger Staubach came in as a rookie at the normal age of a rookie instead of going into the military and coming in his 30s? Did he come in his 30s? I don't think he was in his 30s, dude. I think he was still in his 20s. Wasn't he? I have to look at it, but I don't know what you mean by that. He would have had more stats, bro. He still was a Hall of Famer. Might have won maybe an extra championship. Well, I don't know. No, Dallas is really bad early on. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you mean by it. Let me go over something that happened with the Dolphins today that I don't think I've talked about it. Jordan Howard got cut, and Zach Seiler got a 3-year contract. And I got to tell you something. It's been one of those, Jordan, like the Dolphins have done so many good things this year. They've hit on so many draft picks. They've hit on so many undrafted players. They've hit on so many free agent picks, all of that. Jordan Howard is like one of the very few mistakes that they've made this year. And I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to have a complementary player that could help them in power running situations, and that's why they got him. But unfortunately, they ran into a situation where they had a slew of injuries, and then they had to thrust them into a position to be the guy. And unless your offensive line is designed like it was in Chicago at times to kind of maul and allow and give him a large portion of carries because he's a big man, he's got to get in a groove. If you're going to spot start him, if you're going to be using him as a complementary piece, he will not adjust. Like most big backs. It's not really Jordan Howard's fault. A lot of big backs, they kind of need a whole bunch of carries to get going and get a feel for the defense and start to punish them a little bit more.
Wear him down, man. Wear him down.
Right. Miami never gave him that opportunity. They don't have that kind of line. And so it didn't work out. No big deal, dude. I don't really care. It's they've hit on so much that this is nothing. You know what I mean? But I did get I did understand what they were trying to do. They didn't accomplish it, unfortunately. And now with the other guys, they have versatility. And that's the other thing that happened with Jordan. There was no versatility there. He's not a pass catcher. So now all of a sudden when you do bring him in, the defense knows he's either running or blocking. He's not catching. So that's where.
And right between the tackles.
Right.
Right?
Yes. So that's where that was a problem. And I think they're better off now without him. Because now you're not taking up a roster spot for somebody that you're not really using a lot. He's been inactive a lot, and all you've done is he's got 4 short touchdowns. Just not the right guy. Zach Seiler ends up getting a 3-year contract extension. This is part of the good that's been going on with the Dolphins. They have signed so many good players. They have drafted so many good players that now you see what's going on, and they signed Seiler to an extension. This is a guy who was a former 7th-round pick of the Ravens, was, I believe, on their practice squad. They snatched him off the practice squad, or they had just released him, and then they grabbed him, whatever, either way. But they brought him on, and I remember last year against Cincinnati, he had 7 tackles and a sack. And I was like, who the hell is this? And then he didn't play at all in the final game last year. And now this year, he has been a much bigger part of the rotation. And over the last couple of weeks, he's been one of their better players on that D-line. Kid from Ferris State, Division II. That's a great story. And even more impressive is that the front office identified the talent and was able to find it, develop it, and the rest is history. Pretty damn impressive, man. Pretty damn impressive to do that. And Seiler now, obviously, is a guy that's a part of a big-time defense making a lot of plays, man. Good stuff.
before we walk away from the Jordan Howard thing,
Yes.
does it bother you, that some people are complaining about that, especially after the way the kid Ahmed performed?
No, I think it's
like you replaced him. Come on.
It's repulsive that a Dolphins fan would complain about Jordan Howard when your front office has hit on
almost every move, like literally
practically every move. It's like you can't even mention it. You know what I mean? You can't complain. And eventually they'll get a stud back down the line, but for now they want to get by with what they have. But eventually they'll spend the first or second rounder on a guy or third, and that guy will become your guy. But yeah, I think any Dolph fan that's complaining at this point is just way off, man. Way off.
If you're one of those people, stop.
Yes.
Cut yourself some slack.
It's ridiculous.
Come on.
Yep. Joshua says, any news on Miami switching to the retro jersey permanently? No news on it, but it will happen down the line. I don't think it can happen until 10 years out, so I think it's 2023. Okay? So it is what it is. We are going to wrap it up here on the show. We thank all of you out there. As always, first of all, let me thank the Super Chatters, Leon Fresco and Ray Gurulong. Thank you, sir, out there, both of you, for giving us a little love on the Super Chat.
Wow. Recent research has shown
Super Chat.
makes no sense.
You're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply in society.
Wasted no time.
Super Chat! I thought it was really, 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 really cool. You should all be very proud of yourself.
I have no response.
Super Chat!
That was perfect.
Good stuff, as always. Thank you, Bill, and thank you to Philippe doing the videos. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, listening. Thank you for the patience. We'll get through this. We'll reestablish everything once I get everything going with the station and my life gets back to a little bit more semblance of normalcy. I'm sure I won't be missing any more days, but I can't promise every other day after this. I'm going to do my best to do this show as much as I can. And eventually we'll get it back on track. But thank you all out there.
I just want to tell you, how unlike you, pedestrian, man, 40-minute segments.
Yes.
Weak. This is so not you, man.
Very weak.
What was it, last week you did an hour and 46 minutes straight, nonstop? Yep. Man, you're kind of slipping here, bro. Are you getting old, man?
I'm getting old. I'm slipping.
I just
slipping. I'm falling. I can't get up. I'm slipping. I'm falling. I can't get up.
There'll be some people there to help you get up, man.
Yes.
Okay, just ask. All right.
Yes. All right. We'll see you all tomorrow, okay? Right around the same time, I think. We'll be able to get it done. Y'all be good out there. Much love as always. Thank you for supporting us. Be good. Be safe. Go Inter Friday. Go Dolphins Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow. But I still wanted to say it. Y'all be good. Much love.
Stay safe out there. These numbers are out of control. Wear your mask and wash your hands, please. Have a good one.
The king says wear your mask. And then eat the peanut butter and jelly sandwich later.
We'll see you tomorrow.